Welcome to the Inspiration Station hosted by Joshua Lenox, the place to fill up your tank if you're in need of encouragement and motivation.
Hey, welcome everybody. Y'all already know what time it is. It is Friday, your favorite time. This is the Inspiration Station, y'all. And we're in what year now? 2026. And can you believe it? I know. Y'all always tell me, you're like, okay, we know you can't believe, but I can't believe that the time is already moving swiftly in this a year to begin with in this month. This is the 9th of January already. So I'm not going to stay there. I know y'all going to be like, okay, come on, Josh. We know that. We all know the time, but I hope that each and every one of you all have had an amazing day so far, and this is the best time of your day. And you, again, we know you don't have to tell anybody else. You know, we don't want anybody to get jealous or upset, which we can care less about. But glad that you're here. I hope that you all have also remembered if you had any challenges or still facing some challenges right now, you are an overcomer. You can overcome anything and everything that comes your way. You've done it before, and you'll do it again. So, as you all are coming in, I hope that you all are letting me know too how your day is going, how the week has been so far, and how the year has been so far. It's just exciting to me because I just believe that, you know, when you get a fresh start, a clean slate in something, you know, you get to be the person to build that, to structure that, to organize that, to prioritize that. So it's exciting to me when you're starting having new beginnings because greater things are going to come in your life that you've never experienced before because we've never been in 2026 before. Maybe some of y'all think you have because you've been probably back to the future or something, but nobody's ever been here before. We've never seen this day before. So we're going to continue to make it great, a great day, a great month, a great and amazing year, a monumental year to do the things that we've never done before. So I see y'all are coming on in. Come on in the room. So, really quick to all of you all, if it's your first time here, you are no longer a stranger. You're not a stranger to begin with, but you must continue to come because you have no other choice. So you are now here and you're locked in, and you're going to be here every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will find a way to keep attendance to make sure that you're showing up too. So, but as you guys are coming in, just want to give much love to each and every one of you all out there on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Instagram Live, LinkedIn Live, Spotify, Apple. What else we got, y'all? Amazon, Audible. I keep saying that, but it's just Audible. But y'all know what I'm trying to say. And I'm gonna keep saying all four. Might be something else in store with that. I don't know. But as you all are listening, as you all are watching, come on in here. I know that it has been a great time already that you all have been looking forward to. And I've been looking forward to today, and you'll see exactly why in just a minute. Let's go ahead and jump in, though. We know that if this is your first time now, you're learning, but this is the Inspiration Station where we are all in inspiration, not only to others, but also to ourselves. And as I always say, some of you might be pointing to yourself and saying, I can inspire myself. You can. You absolutely can. If you watch a biographical movie or something like that and you get inspired by that person's life, well, sometimes you need to look at your quote unquote movie and you can pull several different parts of your life out to inspire and encourage and motivate yourself. I didn't say this last time, and I hadn't said it in a while, but the reason why the Inspiration Station is the name of this show is because someone told me a long time ago, they said that they felt like I was like a radio station. They called me the Inspiration Station. They felt like I was a radio station or something that sends out signals that know what people need to hear. I didn't think nothing of it then, and I was just like, that's nice. It sounds good. It's got a little ring to it, but didn't know that it would be the name of a show and a podcast later on. So see, you never know sometimes why you get little things, a little nuggets thrown at you. You put them in your pocket. You don't know when you're going to need to use those things. So at such a time as this, that's why we're called the Inspiration Station. Here we're open, we're honest, we're vulnerable, not just with others, but most importantly with ourselves, because as a great class that we are, we know why. Because the greatest relationship that's often neglected is what? The ones with ourselves. Right. Good job. Y'all pat yourself on the back. I could just feel that you all were repeating that after me, and you better have, because you know this is something you need to be always practicing. Just make sure that we are taking care of ourselves first before we take care of others. So got to be open, got to be honest, got to be vulnerable with you before you can do that with anyone else, right? Also, this is a place where we will have people who come in and they love to share about their lives. I didn't have to threaten anybody, maybe once or twice, to come in, to be interviewed and to share their wisdom, their knowledge, their path of life, and being able to offer wisdom, nuggets of wisdom to us as we continue to do what? Move forward, to be inspired, motivated, and encouraged. But not only that, you're getting moved to action, because this is why we're here. Your action might start with a belief, it might start with a thought, but at least it's something that's moving you in a direction you have not been yet. And sometimes, too, you think you got to take these huge steps, these huge leaps, but sometimes the greatest thing is taking one step at a time. And even if you are having to crawl before you can walk. So I'm very, very, very excited about tonight. We're going to kind of get on in here. I see y'all are coming in like the droves. And let me just say something, because YouTube, y'all be showing out. Let me tell you something. It is a blessing to just see how this continues to multiply and grow as we go. And as I told you guys, you never know why you're starting something or why you have something that's been placed on you. And as I told y'all, my producer, Jason Wilson, he does an amazing job, approached me about this Christmas of 2020. What year was that? 2024. And I don't think I would have ever really thought about it, but it was something that had been echoed to me, but he solidified it and confirmed it. So I just had to jump on the bandwagon, and here we are ever since. And God is doing what God only does, and that means He does exceedingly and abundantly above all we could ever ask or think. So, without further ado, I do have a special guest. I know some of y'all don't start getting teary-eyed and getting sad and you think you're not going to just talk to me this tonight. I mean, you get tired of hearing me all the time? Be careful if you say yes too fast. But it's somebody else that we have on here tonight. And as I told you guys, as this at the top of this year, we're going to start seeing some more faces on a consistent and continuous basis on the Inspiration Station. And I'm so excited about this person that you all are going to meet in just a minute. But before we do that, I want you to learn a little bit about this person, and then when we return back, you'll get to meet them. So stay tuned.
Our guest today is Dr. Jeremy Sager. Dr. Jeremy Sager is deeply committed to improving education for scholars in underserved communities. As a first-generation college graduate from a blended family, Jeremy understands the transformative power of education and the challenges faced by Black boys in particular. His personal experiences and professional journey have shaped his dedication to making a difference for all scholars, especially those who are often overlooked. Dr. Sager will open Nova Smart Academy in Rutherford County, Tennessee, with the goal of creating a school that truly meets the needs of families in underserved communities.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already got a wonderful intro to who this wonderful person is, this is none other than my brother, Dr. Jeremy Sager. So let's all welcome him tonight on the good old Inspiration Station. What's going on, brother?
I'm good, brother. It's so good to see you. I'm so excited to be here with you and to
Yes.
just share in the wisdom that you share every week. It's a plum pleasing pleasure to be
Yes,
with you
yes.
tonight.
I love it. I love it. Y'all, let me tell y'all something before we dive in. Now, this individual right here, he probably already know where I'm going. This individual, I have to tell myself, we're in a little bit of a restriction of time, because if not, you will hear Josh and Jeremy talk for almost 4 hours nonstop with no interruption, talking
Perfect.
about all kind of innovations, creativity, revelations from the Lord. I mean, we could talk about eating everything, the best food that's out right now, recipes, relationships in our family dynamics, whatever. We can talk about any and everything, politics. We can go there. So we know that we're under restraint right now, so y'all won't get the fullness, but y'all will get a snippet. So, brother, I am so glad to have you here. And again, you are the first guest of the year already. So, I think that that's going to set the precedent for your life, that, there's going to be some things that you're going to be doing the first of, whether that's with others or for yourself as this year goes on. So I'm
Yes.
glad to have you here. We're going to dive right on in, but, let me say this. First question I want to ask you is that, I always say this. I say that, our names are nouns and verbs.
Mhm.
So, in me saying that our names are nouns and verbs, who is Jeremy Sager first as a noun? But then also, what does it mean to Jeremy Sager it?
Man, those are some amazing questions. And again, I'm so excited to be here tonight with you and just to share. But I think when I think about Jeremy Sager as a noun, I see myself as a builder of people and systems. Someone who sees potential before polish and before position. I think that I really take a moment to step back and think about what it looks like to be a steady leader, someone that is present, someone that is thoughtful, someone that is anchored in their beliefs, especially when there are times that are uncertain. So being able to show up and being that peace. And if I go to my DISC assessment, I'm a stabilizer. And so just being able to stabilize environments and systems where there's often chaos or there's a need for someone to take up the slack and like lead in that moment. I think when I think about these spaces, I think about being a connector, especially when I think about generations. And so I'm an educator, so I'm always looking for an opportunity to bridge the gaps between our young learners to our students who are now in high school going off to college, and then what they can learn from people who are in postgraduate studies or just in their college and career choice pathways. I think also a translator in terms of like understanding vision, but then moving that vision to execution. I'm really good at like being able to sit down and listen to someone's thoughts, what's in their hearts, and being able to say, all right, let's turn this into an action plan.
Yes.
Also a protector of excellence. I grew up in Memphis. Yes, I did.
Go ahead.
In Memphis, and during my time in Memphis, I had the opportunity to sit under the leadership of Bishop Edward H. Stevens at Golden Gate Cathedral. And one of the principles that he taught us as leaders was that we operate with a spirit of excellence no matter what we do. And so what has helped me to operate with that spirit of excellence is one, you have to protect your excellence without losing compassion. And sometimes we sacrifice compassion when we want to be excellent, but you have to see the beauty in being able to do both. Be excellent, but also have compassion. And then also the responsibility of that without ego. You got to rid yourself of your ego. So that's what I think when I think of myself as a noun. But as a verb, let me tell you this. That's where the action comes in, man. And so you got to be able to show up early and you got to show up prepared. And with integrity, even when nobody's watching you, you've got to be willing to do what nobody else is willing to do, even when you're not being asked to do it, because that's just a part of you and your character.
Sure.
The other part of it is being able to carry. That's a verb. Carry the weight so that others can focus on the growth. Sometimes as leaders, we have to realize that we have to roll up our sleeves, the thick of the muddy waters with our teams, and let them know I'm not just going to tell you what to do, but I'm going to model for you and show you what it looks like to be successful and get these things done. And then bringing order to chaos. I tend to thrive in those environments where I can walk in a room and see that, things are not where they need to be.
True.
Like what needs to, and I automatically go into the mode of what can I do to bring order to chaos. I just get into that mode of let me serve. And so when I think about action and think about leadership and how to Sager something or Sager on it, I think about serving. What can I do to serve? What can I do to bring peace to an environment? What can I do to make sure that what the outcome is what we're striving for, but goes above and beyond that? And so, and sometimes that's behind the scenes. That's not being on the stage and having the mic in your hand. I like being behind the scenes. I like doing the work that nobody gets to see, because when the work gets done on the stage, then you get the applause and you hear the bravo and you want the encore. It's because it's some things that happen behind the scene that made that what happened on stage was able to take place at the optimal. So that's what I think about when I think about Jeremy Sager as a noun and a verb.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for tonight. We want to thank you for coming out, and we just appreciate you. But no, let me tell y'all something. And all the points that you mentioned, one of the joys that I was able to do, of course, before I relocated to Atlanta, I was able to serve beside Dr. Sager several Sundays, quite a bit because of our church, Mount Zion, right there in Nashville, Tennessee. Shout out to Bishop Joseph Walker the third. But some of the components that he's speaking of about being the noun and the verb, I got to see him in action. And even when he started to speak about it, whether you have a mic in the hand or if you're off stage, whatever, those are characteristics very much so that not only is he speaking of that he's speaking of himself, but also those are things I've watched him walk out. And another part of that is too, he does not like to be in the forefront, even when he has to be pushed or called or pulled on, because he's okay with knowing. To your point, I believe excellence doesn't always have to be shown or displayed before everybody.
Right.
Sometimes that again has a lot to do with the character, because are you only showing up ready to serve and give 100% and do what you're doing because everybody can see you, or are you willing to do that when nobody's watching, or that you're an intricate part behind the scenes? Something you said too, I just said last week I was, I think, on a reel or something like that. Or no, or was it? Or might have been the show. I don't know. But I was speaking on how instead of New Year's resolutions to have New Year executions. So I took a note and thought about what you said about saying that vision, take vision to execution. I think also when you have a vision, I'm gonna kind of segue. I'm gonna skip around a little bit, but vision to execution, you have to. I love Karen Clark Sheard. You know that the gospel singer Karen Clark Sheard. And I remember many years ago, she said, "You got to see it before you see it, or you never will see it." One of the things that you all hear about Dr. Sager being an educator, he's also being a builder, very much so. Can you talk just a little bit about how there's a major vision you can share with the people out there in the world, how you turn something from a vision that God gave you and put that into execution? Can you talk to us about that?
Sure, sure. So I'm excited to share that I am the founder and executive director of Novus Smart Academy, where college and career begin in kindergarten. We are a public charter school that is going to open in August of 2026 in Rutherford County, Tennessee, specifically in Smyrna, Tennessee. And we are focusing on supporting students through the specific design models of smart integrated frameworks. And that's where we're going to focus on science, math, arts, research, and technology, which is where you get smart in Nova Smart Academy. And then, of course, we are going to focus on college and career exploration, because we understand that there are students who are going to graduate from high school and they're going to choose a college path, or they may choose a career path. And either path is fine. And we want to make sure that they leave us knowing what their options are, and that they get the opportunity to choose, not
Sure.
what's given to them, but what they go after, because we're going to give them the skills to make sure that they can execute that plan effectively. And then character education. I
Yeah.
love to focus on character education, where you seek heart and meaning and teach students how to self-advocate,
Hmm.
others at the table, understanding their triggers, understanding how to have a conversation where you give insights to, this is how you made me feel when you said XYZ to me, and those
Hmm.
things. We want to make sure that they know how to compete our uh, in our society,
Hmm.
be global achievers and
Hmm.
producers of excellence no matter where they are. And
Right.
then, because our community is such a growing community of EL learners, English language learners,
Hmm.
with Hispanic families and Middle Eastern families, we want to create that belonging for that particular group of students. So we have a program called the Structured English Immersion Program, specifically for families and students who are learning English. And
Okay.
that's to make sure that everyone that attends Nova Smart Academy has a seat at the table, a seat that allows them to get the skills that they need to create the pathway of their choice. It's all
Hmm.
about choice. And we
Yeah.
want to make sure that they walk away knowing exactly what their options are, so that they have the options to choose what they want to do in their lives, and to create a sense of community, but then also to support the communities that they're a part of. So
Hmm.
that's what we're doing at Nova Smart Academy.
Yeah, and let me tell y'all, I got to know some things in the background of him preparing and getting these things, and it was not an easy road for him. But again, as I always tell you guys on here, if God gives you a dream or He gives you a vision, He gives you the capacity to fulfill it,
Oh yeah.
even to the point of frustration, even to the point of thinking that it might not happen or thinking that things won't work out. Because I watched him in the stretch even up until the point of where he finally got the final approval. But it was very strenuous. It was very trying, but he endured, and this is why this is the fruit of it, of what he's doing. I'll be doing now. Really quick, I just want to say much love out there to Charles Caldwell, all the way from Hong Kong. Wishing you and your loved ones a super prosperous 2026 as well, Charles. Much love to you on that. Um, uh,
Oh yeah.
I love that. I love that. I appreciate that too. Also, let me jump into the next thing I want to ask you. Aside of the building part of you, what led you to education, and who inspired you to education?
That's a great question. Thinking about my journey to education, and there's all this question always comes up when I'm having conversations with um, families, with other colleagues and things like that. But it always goes back to the example set by my grandmother. That's personally. Growing up, I had a praying grandmother.
Yeah, yeah.
One of my fondest memories of my grandmother is waking up in the morning and I would see her kneeling at her bed in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
One of her prayers was that God would bless her children's children's children.
Mm-hmm.
She prayed that we would take every opportunity seriously, that we would go as far as we can with our education.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the very last conversation that we had was in '99 when she passed away. It was Labor Day weekend. We were sitting on her front porch.
Mm-hmm.
She asked me, so I was 13 at the time. I was 13, I remember.
Yeah.
She asked me, what do you want to do? What are you going to do when you graduate from high school? I said, well, at the time I wanted to be a lawyer. I want to be a lawyer. I know I'm going to college. I had all these things in my head, just so ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
She said, no matter what you do, just go to college and continue to do your very best. No matter what, don't stop, keep going. And I'm not ashamed to say that my grandmother did not have a college education. She did
Mm-hmm.
a high school diploma, but she
Sure.
had the best degree that anybody could have, and that is a
Right.
seat in the kingdom of God. So,
Come on now.
yeah, I can see in the kingdom of God. And
Yeah.
so, but when she passed, I took it as my duty to make sure that what she charged me to do in that last conversation became
Mm-hmm.
actualized in my life. And so when I became Dr. Sager with my latest degree, it
Yeah.
wasn't for me. It was for my grandmother. It was for my grandfather. It was for my siblings. It was for my nephew. It was for
Mm-hmm.
all the students that I've taught and supported. Everybody that looks at me and that sees me as a mentor, as a big brother, as an
Mm-hmm.
uncle, as whatever I am to you. You know,
Yeah.
um, this was about doing this to show that Black men can be successful. Black
Mm-hmm.
men can achieve academic goals. Black
Mm-hmm.
men can execute their plans when they are disciplined and they go after their dreams and they do these things. And so that's where that journey of going into education came for me. But personally, I remember choosing education because I went to college and I was on the pathway for criminal justice. So I
Mm-hmm.
go to law school, but I had a mentor and my advisor. She asked me, what was your short term goal? And I said, well, I don't have a short term goal. I'm just going to go to college and go to law school. And she said, well, you need something a bit more concrete. Like, how are you going to make money? You need something in the interim before you become this lawyer.
Right.
What about education? I'm like, nah, I'm good. But because I'm like, so growing up, I taught Sunday school.
Oh yeah.
In the summertime, we would be on my grandmother's front porch, and I was the pastor, the choir director, the teacher, the principal.
Right. Right.
And nobody else had a role. It was me. I was everything. I was everybody. I was suspending, teaching, whooping. I was doing it all. I was doing it all my cousins.
Right. Right.
Uh, but um, but I knew that there was a teacher inside of me because I always loved supporting and teaching people things. And my mom growing up owned a childcare facility.
Okay.
I remember after school going and helping with activities, helping with games, helping with homework, doing different things to make sure my mom could, wrap up the day or things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I just always was a seeker of knowledge and always had a heart to learn about the Bible. And when I started reading the Bible, I read the whole Old Testament and I learned so much about Joseph. And I was like, oh my God, I love Joseph.
Right.
And then Abraham. And then when I thought about Abraham and Lot, I'm like, these are my people. I can I can relate to it in real life. And so just being able to one do something that's natural. And so like I'm naturally an investigator. I got that embedded in me, but God called and assigned me to be an educator.
Sure.
I'm called to be now. Yes, I'm an executive director, starting my own school. But one thing that I will never stop being is a teacher, because I believe that as I'm teaching others, I'm also learning, and that's going to help me to continue to build my capacity over time. And so, but yeah, just taking that leap of faith to go into education, I went into a classroom that required me to do a field experience with a special populations class. Just saw the care and nurturing that this particular teacher had for his self-contained classroom with those students in special education. And I was like, I want to do this. I want to support students in this way. I want to love on them and give them something that they don't get probably at home or in other environments, because they seek and need it here in this environment. And so it just gave me, again, it gave me the right pathway and the journey on the assignment that I'm on. And I know that's where I'm supposed to be because it's just, while the road has not been easy.
No.
This is where God wants me to be. And just the doors that have opened because of my obedience, because of my diligence, because of my discipline, and just continuing to pursue and execute in the way that He's designed, is just, He continues to blow my mind. And just the blessings that come as a result of supporting, and I know I'm rambling, but
no, you agree.
Some of the students that I've taught, like I was my first career, my first years in this, I started teaching in 2010. I was a high school English teacher at Creighton High School in Memphis, Tennessee.
I know about it.
Yes, yeah, you know, Raleigh. Shout out to Raleigh if you're watching. I still have I still have solid relationships with some of those students that I taught during my years there. They've gone on to go to college and graduate. They've gotten married and they've got families. They're asking me to come to their weddings. They're asking me about things that are going on in their lives. They've told me about, hey, I had to pivot. I had to get out of college and do a job because I did this. And now they're back on track. And now they're on the dean's list at Morehouse and graduating this summer. And I said, make sure you call me. I'm coming. Don't call me the day of. Make sure you call me. I'm coming to that graduation because we prayed for this. We wanted this back when you were in high school.
Right.
And we went on, though it linger, though it tarry,
it
shall speak and not lie. And that's the vision. Like when you can't tell me that you want to do something, because the moment you tell me, Jeremy, I want to do something, and I'm like, okay, you want to do this? Okay, well, let's make it happen. I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to push you. And that's what I've been as an educator, as a teacher. It's not just about someone sitting and listening to what you have to say.
Right.
It's about being the model. It's about you advocating. It's about you supporting. And it's about you pouring into them in ways that they wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. It's not just about teaching English. It's about teaching life skills and just transformational support in a person's life to get them where they need to be.
Absolutely. And let me say this as to kind of jump into something you said. As I always preach and say, even on here, is that whatever you kind of already know what you're going to do because you've been exposed to it. Even if you don't know specifics, it's like, okay, you get to, like I said, becoming a counselor, one of the things I do, I was like, where did this come from, God? And it's like, but when I sat with it and I was in the program, I was like, I kind of already been doing this, just didn't know the whole layer of skill sets and things of that nature and things to learn. But I've always done this. People have always come to me. So again, like you're saying, you've had that exposure. And another thing I like to say about educators are the people who are the foundations of many people that we see today that we admire from afar or up close and personal. You know, it's not just about teaching something, teaching a subject matter or anything of that nature. You're teaching a person, you wear multiple hats. Sometimes you're a parent, sometimes you're a brother, sometimes you're a friend, sometimes you are the counselor, sometimes you're a police officer, sometimes you're a security guard, and you're the nurse. I mean, we could just go on and go on and go on. So I think it's important, even as you said, as inspiration. Inspiration does not have to mean that the person is someone who comes from what I do or from the career field. It could be from somebody who just saw enough in me to push me in becoming the best me that I can be or whatever that I wanted to do. And it sounds like there's something that echoes with you also with your grandmother in that you are also being able to do for many. So I think it's funny how somebody can plant seeds into you, and that's what we're supposed to do. You're not supposed to hold that stuff to yourself. You're supposed to pour that back out, and you just not knowing as that 13-year-old on that porch of knowing with your grandmother, knowing that, okay, wait, I'm going to be imparting into other people too. This is why you can't tell Jeremy, hey, I want to do such and such. It's like immediately you probably holding them accountable and saying like, okay, whatever it is, go ahead and put it in motion. So one thing, two things I want to ask. The first thing I want to say is you kind of hit on this a little bit when you said black man. I want to be very specific about it. But what have been some of the greatest challenges that you faced or encountered in the education field as other things that you as a man, but as also a black man, and also a man of faith?
Yeah, that's a great question. And you kind of have to break that down in buckets because those are three different buckets.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about it as a man, you think about it as a black man,
Mm-hmm.
and then when you think about it as a man of faith.
Sure.
And I think for me, when I think about this as a man, one of the greatest challenges that I've encountered is learning how to carry responsibility without suppressing emotion. You
Mm.
know, as men, we're taught to be strong, be decisive, hold your head up, stick your chest out,
Mm-hmm.
put your feet down, and let's go.
Right.
To be unshaken no matter what, just make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've learned as I'm getting older and as I'm like really taking time to really invest in my mental health and awareness is
Mm-hmm.
that it's okay to show vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to admit when you're uncertain. It's
Sure.
okay to ask for help. We were raised and built to like you make it happen no matter what, and
Right.
there's nothing wrong with that mentality because at the end of the day got to end.
That's what they're saying. It's going to end. It's got to end.
Guess what? And when it ends, we got to make sure that we got something done. And so at
Right.
the end of the day, what I'm saying is that you don't when you decide or when you allow yourself to tap into your vulnerabilities, that doesn't mean that you abandon your responsibilities or that you don't meet the expectations or execute the plans that are in front of you. That
Sure.
means you are literally in a space of the unknown. You
Mm-hmm.
need some help. You've rid yourself of the pride or the contention in your heart to not want to ask for help, but you
Sure.
out the resources, the people, the organizations, and all the things that you need that can help you as a man to accomplish the goal that you need to accomplish. For instance, like on this journey of starting and founding Nova Smart Academy, there's no way that I can do all of this alone. Now, there was a big part of this journey that I had to walk out by myself.
Mm-hmm.
But over time, as I begin to build and we got approval and now we're getting all these things going, I got to hire people. I've got to get people on my team. I need people who have different perspectives and insights from me that have a different level of emotional constancy than I have to help me see things different, to experience things differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I'm in a space in my life where, Jeremy, it's okay. You don't have to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to be strong all the time. You don't have to be the one that walks in the room and has to fix everything.
Right.
Stop thinking that you have to fix it. Stop thinking you got to control it. Let somebody else do it.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, get somebody else. It's okay to say no. No is a whole sentence. And
It is.
I saw something, Erica Campbell blessed me this week. She said, if you don't have to explain your yes, you don't have to explain your no.
Right.
So just like when somebody asks you to do something, you say yes, they don't say, well, why did you say yes? Guess what? They ask you a question, you say no. You don't have to explain why you said no.
That's good.
A no is a no, just like a yes is a yes.
That's good.
Either one, both of them are what?
Complete sentences.
Complete sentences and clear responses.
Yeah.
And so that's what I had to learn in that space as a man. Now, being a black man, you know that's a different space. But and then as a man of faith, that's a different space too.
Mm-hmm.
But as a black man, it's layered because we have to learn how to navigate environments where we're underestimated, overly scrutinized. I'll be honest with you. I had a situation where I walked in a room.
Yeah.
During this process of founding my school as an executive director.
Right.
One of my white counterparts said, "So you want to be a teacher?" And I was like, I knew right then and there, oh, I know what this is about to be. And to make a long story short, I resolved to let that person know. I know that as a black man, I can't just wake up one day and say, hey, I want to start a school to support underserved communities, and I get day one support. You as my counterpart can wake up and say, I'm going to start a school and we're going to do all these great things for the sake of this community. And we're going to get all types of supports and people just going to come out and just do all types of things.
Right.
It's for me. And does that make me say, woe is me? No, absolutely not. What that does, it challenges me to say, show up and show up right and show up better. Show up for your community, show up for your people, give them what they deserve. Because it's not what they just need, it's what they deserve. And they deserve to see a black man show up in their communities to give them something that they can't get from anyone else. So just being able to understand that we're going to be scrutinized. We're going to have to work just as hard to get certain things that other people don't have to work so hard for. I'm going to have to work 10 times as harder to get to some levels. But then the other part of it is tone, confidence, the way you interact in conversation. Oh, I remember someone saying, was he angry with the feedback? How did he respond? I'm not an angry black man. I can take feedback.
Right.
I can navigate those waters. But don't see me that way because I'm black. Don't see me that way because you're challenging me to think differently from where I'm thinking. I'm open to outcomes. Of course, I have a goal in mind, but if you see an opportunity for me to strengthen what has been assigned to me, I'm going to sit back, be reflective, and take some time to reflect and make sure that I move forward in a way that's in the best interest of my organization or whatever I'm working on.
Sure.
As a black man, that's a real space for us. We have to show up in environments and sometimes have to tone down who we are so that other people are not offended. And sometimes we have to put in overtime, time and a half.
Code switch.
Yeah. Just to prove that we're worthy of being in the room. But the thing about it is God already overqualified us. Be qualified by these people.
Yeah.
It's just the natural inclination of us to feel like we have to show up and prove something. God already proved it. He already proved it. He already proved it when we were in our mother's womb.
Right. That's it.
And so that's the thing that over time as a man, I still have to resolve that and get to that, which leads me to my faith. As a man of faith, one of the greatest challenges is staying rooted in my values because, I'm from Memphis. And sometimes, you want to knock and buck.
And ready to fight. But wait a minute, before you keep going, if you don't know what that means, that is an actual statement. If somebody says, I'm from Memphis, that means something. You might, in a way, that's almost saying like, I can be the most amazing, sweetest person and greatest person you ever meet. But please don't test me or don't try me, okay? Because this can flip real quick. That's what that means. So you may continue, brother, on the faith aspect.
Because like I don't bother nobody. People from Memphis, we are cool, calm, collected. We just who we are. But we can go there. So don't think just because I got Dr. Sager on my name, man. I can Sager it now. I can show you what a Memphis Sager can do now.
Right.
Do. But
Right.
I'm just playing with y'all. But for real, but just as a man of faith, just being rooted in your values, especially in spaces where you're being challenged, and making sure that you always show up with integrity. Remain humble. My mom tells me all the time, no matter how high you go, stay humble, stay at the foot of Jesus. And so, like, anytime I achieve a goal, I'm going to always, you're going to always hear me say, to God be the glory. Because there is nothing that Jeremy is doing. Yes, this is all for God's glory. This is my God-given assignment. And this is what I've been called to do on the earth. And so I have to give him the glory for that. But then also patience. I wasn't doing today. Because sometimes, I love Dr. Miles Monroe. They continue to rest in peace. But he said something years ago about that God will, just like the story of Joseph, that's my guy in the Bible, God will show you the promise. He won't show you the process, because if he showed you the process, you would say, forget this promise. And I'm going to tell you this. God showed me and approved Nova Smart Academy. God has already shown me campuses of Nova Smart Academy. If I knew that it was going to take the unconventional path that it has taken, I would be right now a principal at a traditional public school right now. I would have said, nope, not doing that. I'm good. I'm making good money. I'm all right. But God gave me my Jonah experience and said, nope, it's time for you to go where I told you to go. It's time for you to do what I told you to do. I don't care about how you feel. This is real. This is your assignment. And so I had to think about that. And so I had to tap into this mindset of my faith over fear, my character over convenience, and purpose over position. Think about all those things and just making sure that I am not necessarily choosing something that's profitable or that's popular, something that's purposeful. And so when I came to that resolution and peace in my mind and my heart, because they have to align, that's when I was able to say that this is exactly where I know this is my calling. Undoubtedly so, unapologetically. This is my calling. This is what I'm supposed to do. It comes with a challenge, but guess what? It's coming with a triumph as well. And so that's that faith factor that led me through this as a man of faith, and being able to stand in the greatest tests of time. Man, I could sit here and talk to you about all types of experiences I've had in this process, but just to be able to sit on the other side of approval and be in rooms that I never thought I could be in, and hearing that my name has been in rooms that I never thought that they would be in. That's to what God is doing, not anything that Jeremy is doing, but what God is doing, as a result of accepting this assignment and the call that he's given.
Yeah. First of all, brother, thank you for that. That I just it's a lot of things to unpack, and that's why I wanted to do it in those three different categories, because those are all significantly different. As a man, as a black man, as a man of faith, and also one of the things is I want to pick a little bit before we're gonna. I got one more question, and we're gonna get up out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in and staying in with us. I hope that you all are taking in everything that you're learning, because it's not just about, as I like to always say, and as you've seen before, anybody coming on here to be interviewed, it's not so much about what they do, it's who they are behind what they do. Because sometimes we look at people and what their positions and titles, and you got the alphabet behind your name and stuff, and those things are to be, let me be very clear, those things are to be very honored, appreciated, because people work very hard to become who they are and get to where they are. And a lot of times they didn't even ask for what they are doing. It's something that was put and planted in them by the Lord. So it's always important to recognize that somebody's importance is greater than what they do, but it's who they are. And the who behind the what is what we do on the Inspiration Station. Y'all know what I'm saying? But something, even what you mentioned, I think all of those things are intertwined. You're a man, a black man, man of faith. Now, I'm going to need faith to be a black man. I'm going to need faith to be a man in this world, especially the world that we live in. We're not going to play blinders to anything that we're seeing. And racism and prejudice, those things are still prominent. And it does not mean everybody's racist or prejudiced, but those things still exist. Those things still have voices. Those things still have room that are still very visible. It's not
Yeah,
even hidden anymore. So
absolutely.
there are times where you feel like you need to play small, and these are just and across the board as a man. Period, you can feel as though there's already applied pressure to you to lead and to lead greatly, and that you cannot disappoint. You can't let down. It must almost be perfect to do what it is. But also, you're going to be met with opposition because not everybody wants to see you succeed. Not everybody wants to see you do well. Sometimes there are very much so this crabs in the barrel mentality. No
Yes,
one wants to lift you up. Nobody wants to collaborate. And sometimes you might have to walk alone and you might have to be just me and Jesus all the way through. Because what also for you, Jeremy, I want to say this and speaking this to you, you're something's implanted and embedded in you like what you have. Nobody's done what you've done before, so people are not going to understand and not going to come readily running to your side. But even as you said, I can't do everything. I have to learn I can't do everything. I have to call on help. Sometimes it's hard for I think any of us to ask for help or ask for assistance when we need it because some of y'all are so used to being independent and doing things on your own and shouldering things with unnecessary weight. So sometimes you gotta tap into being skilled, as I know you are, and many of you all out there. You're skilled in being able to delegate certain skills, abilities, and talents. Let people operate in their stuff. Let people and look even if you think you can't find people to come support your vision, your dream, God will send them. God will send them. You don't have to do whatever the thing is, those dreams, those visions, that call you have on your life. You don't have to be afraid thinking that you're not going to get help. Sometimes it's just you getting started. And
yes,
people go up and you don't understand, like, where are these people coming from? And again, you're not limited. Don't have the mindset of thinking you're limited just because you haven't seen the resources yet. And it may take time to get to that vision that you've seen. You can't get the towel. Use that towel to wipe that sweat off. You can't throw in the towel so quickly, thinking that maybe I should just turn around. Maybe it's something else I'm supposed to do. Maybe it's something. Maybe I just mistaked. It's a mistake. I mistook what the Lord said. I mistook that dream I've had since I was a little kid. Maybe that's meant for somebody else. No, it was meant for you. And I promise you, when you get started in the direction, whether that's 1 foot in front of the other, as I said earlier, God will provide. He's not gonna if he sent a word to your life, if he spoke a word, he's not a man that he shall lie, he's a man that shall repent. And
yeah.
if he said it, whatever that he sends out, it's going to accomplish. It does not return void. It's going to accomplish what he sent it to do. Okay, so yeah, I feel like I went on it. I had to get that off my chest. But let me say this really quick. One more quick thing because y'all, we got to get out of here. We kind of over, our usual time. But I'm so glad that y'all are tuned in and that y'all are being blessed. I'm sure by Dr. Sager tonight, as I am, as he's talking. So many things that he's saying, y'all. I got my little mental notes. I know I have a very good memory, so I'll be remembering everything. But one thing I want to say to you as we close out really quick. There was a wonderful person that all of us know. She said, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. So, the greatest of all, we know that song, right? If you don't know this song and you don't know this about Whitney Houston, I want you to log off and don't you even come back. No, but she said, I believe the children are our future. Teach them well, and let them lead the way. So, my question to you, as I already pick up with what you're doing with your academy, but there's other components to this. So, we're going to say this really quick and we're going to wrap up and get out of here, y'all. So, y'all hold on. But how do you feel at this moment in time that you're contributing to the future of the current generation and then generations to come?
That's a really powerful question. I think for me, this is not what I like to say. This is not for the faint of heart. We are in a critical space in our world for so many reasons. We're not going to go in a political arena with this, but just for so many reasons. And if we ever needed the Lord before, we need him more than ever. We need him now.
Yeah.
And I think about the values and the things that were instilled in me as a child. You know, the things that I had a praying grandmother. I have a praying mother. We went to church. You know, we talked about education.
Right.
It was a daily conversation about you have to do this, you have to do that, you don't give up. I didn't have the choice to not go to college. You're going to college. I remember I even tried to go to the Air Force. This is a funny story, and I'll keep it brief, but
yeah, because brother, we only got a few minutes. So I told y'all we can go. It's hard to go. We got
every time we have like Baptist closings every time.
That's a couple of minutes. Brother.
Yeah, but even to the point, my dad allowed a Air Force recruiter to come to the house, and I was like, "Dad, gonna let me do it." And at the end of the conversation, my dad told the man he's not going to the Air Force; he's going to college. And I was like, "Dad, why did you let that happen?" But it was just one of those things that happened. I went to college, and I was, we didn't have report cards, and it was on me. But my parents wanted to see my grades. Let me see them grades. I was afraid to fail a class. Now I had some trials and tribulations. I ain't gonna lie. But there was this fear, and I think that again we are dealing with a different generation where there are still some values. There are some values that have evolved over time, and not to say that our parents and those who care for our children don't care or not teaching them to do great things, but just some of the old time values that we received, those things don't always exist anymore. Sure. And so we have to find ways to integrate those old ways and values into these new ways and values, because there's a way to bridge the gap and still get our students where they need to be. And I think what that looks like is, one, getting back to the basics. Our students need to learn soft skills. They're married to technology. They're always on their phones. They're always on that tablet, and they're playing the games and Baby Shark and all this other stuff. But how do we get children to be able to say good morning, look you in the eyes and say good morning?
Right.
Get them to give you a complete sentence, like nope, yeah, no, like give you a complete sentence. And I'm not saying yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. I'm talking about let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
I want to sit down and talk to you. I want to hear what you value. I want to see what you're thinking and hear what you're thinking. I think we have to get back to truly having intentional relationships with our students, which is why part of my school model is character education, which teaches advocacy, teaches them how to exist in the world that they're going to go into, because our children don't have the soft skills. We're in a world where they can go put something in ChatGPT, Gemini, get a quick answer, submit it, and they're done. But for them to sit down and process and think about something, it's like rocket science. And so it's like, how do we step back, take the technology away for a time, and get them back to the root of being able to have a conversation and engage and just really build those soft skills, so that when they go into the world, they're multidimensional. They can function in any environment, whether it's high tech or the system is crashed, but I can still function. And so just teaching them the spectrum of how to show up. That's the important thing. That's what we have to teach our children.
I agree, because again, and I know we got to go, y'all, but the amazing things you said, I think, is getting back to the basics. I never imagined in all the years of my life that I would see scholastic things appear the way that they do, and just the respect level of students, and the entitlement, the avoidance of eye contact, of speaking up. I remember, you know just as well as I do. Growing up, when you were addressed by a teacher, it was no joke. You respect them, you give them honor is due. Yes, ma'am, no, sir, whatever it is. Also, you had to research, you had to learn. We didn't have these quick things to go to. We knew the library system. Does anybody know the Dewey Decimal System anymore? So it's like all of these different things, I think, are needing enrichment, as you're speaking, as to kind of take the generation further, and also bridge that gap, because it has been a great gap. Technology is amazing if it's used for amazing things, but I think also that's been a substitute, I think, in a way, of really the growth of kids these days, because again, it's so easily accessible. Nobody's having to work hard like we had to. It wasn't no
They don't know how to be creative and critical. And so
right.
part of our school model is creating space for students to be critical and creative thinkers.
Right.
And that's bringing a piece of who you are to the table while also thinking through something that's already at the table and teaching us that, hey, I'm an asset. I'm an asset and I have something that's going to contribute to the larger community that I'm a part of. And that's what it's all about.
Well, brother, come to the end.
We're here.
I want to say, first of all, thank you all. First of all, before I give thanks and get y'all out of here, but thank you all for tuning in tonight, as you do consistently on Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This has been an amazing time, brother. Thank you. Can we give it up for Dr. Sager on tonight, y'all? He's coming on here not just to teach us about the education field, but also teach us about building, teach us about resilience, teach us about being steadfast, teach us about endurance. Teach us about innovation. There's so many different components that he dropped tonight, so many nuggets, so many jewels. So I know some of y'all probably want to go build a school now, right? Y'all want a school? Y'all, some of y'all want to be teachers. Probably teachers on here from all over, I'm sure. But one of the main things is knowing that how important your foundation is based on to where you're going. Because even as a kid, you think, I hear what you said, think about your own lives, all you listeners and watchers out there. The launching pad that you were given has skyrocketed you to where you are and where you're going to go. So everybody, well, again, brother, I want to appreciate you. I appreciate you coming on here. What you do is great and unheard of, and what you're doing in the space. I'm so glad that you were obedient, were obedient to the call, because again, as you always know, it's bigger and greater than you and the lives that you're going to impact, because you don't just impact those students, you impact the families. Students is just a seed. So, and the futures that are going to come with them. So please continue what you're doing. Please continue to see the vision through. And I know that everything that you need, all that you need, God will continue to provide even more than what you ever asked Him or what you prayed for. And even grandma's prayers are still the things that are going to be and bringing things for you in this near future. Ladies and gentlemen, because of time, I love each and every one of you. I hope that you continue to be all that you can be, all that you can be. But anyway, I love y'all. Spread love now more than ever. And don't forget, it starts with you. You've always been great, and you're just getting better, and you're finally embracing that. You've always been great. You're just getting better, and you are finally embracing it. So, without further ado, I will see y'all next Friday right here. You never know who's going to be on here, so you better watch out. Okay, we're not going back to Christmas, right? No, we're not. So, but I'll be here on Friday. What time, y'all? 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 p.m. Mountain Time, 4 p.m. Pacific Time. And to all my international people, you know your time zones, and I'm so glad you do, because I don't know all of them, but I am familiar with some. So I'll look forward to seeing you guys and doing this with you guys next Friday, as we always do. So love y'all much. Have a great evening, and meditate on some of these things that Dr. Sager implanted into all of us, y'all. Just knowing that there's nothing you can't do, nothing that you can't touch, no one you can't touch, and no place that you can't reach. It's not too high. So love y'all. See y'all next week. You ain't got to go, but you got to get out of here. Bye.
Thanks for watching The Inspiration Station with Joshua Lenox. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.